This document contains the multiple field reports that were documented over a span of 2 to 3 months after discovering a new dimension that was cut off from the outside world. This dimension was discovered whenever we used the wedge device in order to create a hole into reality and managing to find our way through there into the dimension itself. 5 survey teams were sent into this dimension to examine and catalog the landscape, any living organisms, be it fauna or flora, along with ascertaining if there is any civilization or social structure, if there is any civilization present. And with the photos that the survey teams brought back from the dimension, it is safe to say that the dimension is nothing short of absolutely beautiful. However, photos are not the only thing that the survey team went there to take. They also went there to discover what else this dimension had to offer to the Foundation. I will now go over the 5 expeditions that were taken to go into this dimension. The first expedition into the new dimension was conducted on July 2023. A group of D-Class personnel were sent through the rift to obtain air and water samples. The D-Class personnel that were sent in were D8321, D9367, D9465, D9115, D9117, and D2387. Now, the end result of this expedition resulted in a successful retrieval of air and water samples at the cost of the majority of the team of D-Class. There were only 2 D-Class that made it back alive. One of them were in critical condition, and the other one was unharmed. Following the last expedition that was done into the new dimension, it was ordered that the next survey team that went in was to be escorted by multiple armed guards. The result of this ended up with no casualties, along with a corpse of an entity that was terminated by one of the guards when it attempted to attack the group. This is a picture of the terminated entity. Note that it is humanoid in appearance. However, it is cyclopeal and has a horn on the top of its head. Currently, we are unsure what that horn is supposed to be for. We don't know if it's for defense or any other reason, to be honest. At this point, we are still looking into the different types of fauna that were in this special dimension here. One thing to note is that the landscape in this dimension is similar to what it looks like in the outside world where this dimension is located, specifically in the Yatsugate Mountains of Japan. It is worth noting that there were multiple instances of humans spotted during this expedition. From first glance, it didn't seem like they were anything out of the ordinary of humans outside of this dimension. After that discovery, the expeditionary team was sent back to the Rift and returned home, thus concluding the second expedition. The third expedition yielded many new discoveries into the culture and lifestyle of many of this dimension's inhabitants. For starters, we know that the main language in this dimension is modern Japanese. However, we have also recorded Mandarin, Vietnamese, Hindi, and even a few European and American languages, though the latter are extremely rare. They have also come across a village populated by humans, and upon examining the humans from that village, they don't seem to have any differences in physiology with normal humans. It is also good to note the fact that the architecture in this dimension, the vast majority of it is, in fact, architecture from feudal Japan around the 1600s, with the only known exception is one building that was surveyed slightly from far distance using a drone. But that building will be discussed more in the next expedition. Now, from the different types of fauna that we have cataloged, a lot of them are humanoid, though they have slight physical differences to normal humans. Mainly additional appendages such as horns, tails, different types of animal ears, and just above all else, different heights and abnormal proportions, along with seeing some of the humanoids possessing wings, which allows for flight. Now, as we continued our research, we looked into more about these humanoid creatures, and one of our cryptozoologists have pointed out the fact that these are in fact yokai, which are essentially supernatural creatures in Japanese folklore. Now, I don't know about you, but some of these things are just straight up nightmare fuel. But the oddity with this is that these yokai, a lot of them, are like almost indistinguishable from humans, be it obviously the different like extended appendages that they've had. They had that obviously normal humans wouldn't, such as tails and other things like that. But they look humanoid. It's odd because the source material that we got here, they look most of the time anything but human. But with that being said, interactions with these yokai have been mixed. Some are friendly exchanges and other ones result in encounters. But other than that, that's about everything that we gained from the third expedition. Now, this expedition was specifically aimed towards the structure that was talked about previously in the last expedition log. Now, what is odd about this structure than the others is the fact that it isn't Japanese architecture. No Eastern architecture is found from whenever we surveyed it, but as far as we can see, it's European architecture from, I believe, the Victorian era. So, this obviously didn't originate from this dimension, or at least its inhabitants aren't native to this dimension. But the fact that drones and other electronic equipment that are unmanned keep being destroyed or are lost while trying to get a closer look at the mansion, a fourth expeditionary team was sent in to investigate it further.